Good morning, everyone. This is Team Decepticons, consisting of Agatha, Mona, Liliana, and myself, Shakil. Uh, and Al has been our project facilitator. For our project 3, we have created a memory cards game for the kids, 4 years and up, which is named Memory Land. Coming from the different backgrounds than tech, it was a big learning curve for all of us during the entire cohort, and especially during the final project, which was like a home run. So for our project, we use the agile methodology during development. We utilized pair programming to make sure that all of us understood each part of the project. We had the scrum master role being rotated among all of us every week. One of the member would take the role and move the project forward and communicate with our product owner, which was played by Al, our facilitator during this time. Also, we used some of the more complex approaches just to enhance our learning. There were like simple solutions available, but like just to make sure that we learn deeper, we went for those. So now over to Agatha, my colleague. So going for the next slide.
Thanks, Shakil. Good morning, everyone. Being parents ourselves, we know there are many games on the market, but most of them just focus on being fun and flashy. However, there are very few that will be fun, but also engaging, and that will focus on developing children's cognitive skills. Over to you, Mona.
Thanks. So our solution to this problem was to create a Montessori-inspired memory card game for children. The goal that we had in mind was to create an application that would help children train their visual memory, build concentration, and improve their ability to find similarities and differences between objects. Our target audience is children aged 4 and up. However, I'm sure there's many people here today that are young at heart and would enjoy playing this game as well. Some of you may be familiar with flip card games. Cards are laid out face down and the user selects 2 cards at a time and tries to find a match. We've taken this classic game and added our very own twist to it with an option to upload custom images. It makes the game more versatile and allows the users to play with images that are appealing to them. And then for our own personal development as full stack developers, we wanted to better understand and learn how to create interactive web applications and to enhance our skills with the MERN stack. And I'll pass it over to Liliana.
Thank you, Mona. So finally, in terms of technology that we use during this project, for the front end, we use React and Bootstrap for design and mobile responsiveness. In the back end, we use MongoDB to store users and images, also Express and Node.js. And we made use of some specific module like Molter middleware to upload the images, Sharp module to convert images to a smaller size, and we use JSON Web Token for authentication purposes. Now we are going to start our demo, and Agatha is going to be doing the first part in our demonstration.
Thanks, Liliana. So here it is, guys. Welcome to our Memoryland homepage. As you can see, we have 2 options here. Sometimes parents don't have time to log in, or maybe the kid is impatient and just wants to play the game. So the first option will allow the child to just click a play button, and that way they will be directly sent to the play page with our pre-selected categories: animals, shapes, colors, or letters. But we have a second option as well. Parents can create an account with us, and that will give them access to additional features on the parent dashboard, which will be presented shortly by Shakil and Liliana. Just wanted to mention that for our authentication on the login and sign up, we use JWT token and cookies. So we made sure that your email, password, and uploaded images are safe with us. Now over to Shakil. He will guide you through the parent dashboard.
Thanks, Agatha. So we have created already a user named Jen, following our lovely Jen Morrison, and it's a parent account. So we will go in and see where it takes us. So this is our parent dashboard. Basically, we have given this couple of options to the parents to manage their account. The top part starts with the uploading the images or going to the play directly if they decide not to, or they have like a pre-selected already uploaded their images. My colleague Liliana will be explaining this section more in details just after me, how we used and what technologies we have used and how the functionality works. I will jump to the change password and the delete account sections. So we have given the option in case password is compromised or you want to put in a new password, you have like this option. You will update the password, it will update it in the database. Same thing, we give the option to delete the account in case you have customized images uploaded and you do not want them to stay in the database. You can delete the account, which will actually delete everything related to that account in our MongoDB database. Also on the top section, we have given a logout button just to go back to the home page. So now over to Liliana to explain our uploading images capability and the custom category associated with that.
Thank you, Shaquille. So one of the biggest challenges that we face in our project was figuring out how to handle the images associated with our card categories. There are many different approaches to storing images. Some of them are much easier than others. For instance, you can store all the images in the cloud and then just link the URLs into the database. To further our learning, we decided to use a complex approach where we store the images directly into MongoDB. In order to upload the images in MongoDB, we have to save them in a binary format. And then to bring them back, we needed to convert them to base64 so that they can be used in our card game. In addition to this, we added another level of complexity by using the Sharp module to include functionality that will resize large images upon upload. So this is thinking that parents, they can have bigger images in size, and that would be a problem for MongoDB if they are bigger than 16 megabytes. So we wanted to prevent users from uploading images that were very large in size. So this functionality helps counter that. The upload functionality prevents users from uploading more than 6 pictures or trying to submit without choosing an image. So the final users, in this case, the children, they will have the option to play with the images that have been already uploaded by their parents or continue playing with the pre-selected categories that we have, which are animals, color, shapes, and letters. And now I pass it on to Mona that she's going to explain the logic behind the game.
All right, thank you, Liliana. So we're really excited to show you the heart of our application, which is our main play page that you'll see shortly on your screen right here. Perfect. So to give you some orientation, I'll go through some of the features that we have created. So if you can see on the left, we have our pre-selected categories, in addition to the custom button that appears on the bottom. This button will only appear if the user is logged in and they have submitted their images. In the center, we have a big cloud. This is where our deck of cards will be displayed once a category has been selected, and the user will be interacting with those cards directly. To the top left, we have an added option for music so that when a user clicks on it, they can listen to pre-selected music. And to the top right, we have a back button that will log the children out of the application so that they cannot access the parental controls. We were very careful with not allowing children access to the parent dashboard and the photo uploading capabilities, as we didn't want them to upload sensitive information that might be stored on their parents' devices, such as a tax return or a driver's license. And now I'll move into the game logic. So I'm going to get Shaquille to demonstrate and get him to start playing the game. So once he selects a category, the cards are going to be displayed on the screen. The timer starts, and then the user can start selecting 2 cards at a time. So if the user finds 2 cards that are matched, they'll remain face up. If they are not, they'll turn back down, and the user continues to move through the deck. So I know we've built a very difficult game here, and it does take quite some time. The images are random. So I'm just going to give Shaquille a little bit of encouragement to move him through this game. So good job, Shaquille. I know you
can do it. I can do it.
You can do it. You can do it, Shaquille. Come on.
Come on, I need to beat myself. I cannot beat my record.
No, the middle one. Yeah. No. No.
Yes.
2 more.
Awesome.
Oh.
Perfect. So once the game has been completed, a congratulatory message pops up and the user can see how long it took them to complete the game. So the theme that we tried to go with throughout this game was, bright colors and fun so that it appeals to a younger audience. So now I'm going to pass it over to Shaquille so that he can highlight additional features that we have for our administrators for this application.
Thanks, Mona. So for the game, we have also made a section which is like an admin section. We have our user defined with a different level in our database. So depending on if a user is an admin level user, once they log in, they will be taken to the admin portal instead of going to the parents dashboard or going to the play area. So I have like this predefined username Shaquille with the password I already put in. So I will log in. I will be taken to the admin section of the where we do the admin role. So we have some functionality working here, which is like a manage user. So if I click on the manage user, this is the place where we basically do our database administration kind of a thing. We can update the user level. Let's say this first user is Kate. She's like a level 8. I can make her like a level 3. I can make her level anything, whatever. Our minimum level for a parent is level 8, and level 10, which is the highest, is an admin. So I can update, and this update button will actually update the user in our MongoDB database. Also, we have created a button to delete. So it's basically to delete a user, just to do like a cleanup on the database. We have provided like a search bar on the top, as we expect the database to grow further in the future. So we can like search any particular user. So now back to Mona again to talk about our way forward and what we plan to do next in our admin roles and how the game will continue.
Perfect. Thank you.
Over to you, Mona.
Thanks. As previously mentioned, this application really enhanced our learning with the MERN stack, and we would like to continue building on this application and eventually launching it in the real world for people to play with. So for future iterations, we're looking to add more functionality to our administrator page, so that includes more control over adding, managing, and deleting categories and pictures as well. And then for our target audience, we want to provide additional options where they can choose between skill levels, which would likely then increase the deck of cards that are displayed on screen. And then we would also like to add a leaderboard so that users can see what their rank is and then use that to improve their timing against other players as well. Lastly, we would also like to enhance the picture uploading capability so that parents can view at a glance what images they currently have uploaded, and then to give them options to create photo albums so that their children can play with those in future games. And I will now pass it over to Agatha so that she can highlight what our key takeaways have been. So over to you, Agatha.
Thanks, Mona. So for me, it was a roller coaster ride, a lot of ups and downs, but I enjoyed every minute of it. And I'm glad that I could share that experience with amazing and talented people. I know there's still a lot to learn, and I realize it's just the beginning, but I'm really excited and looking forward to what's next. Over to Shakil.
Thanks, Agatha. For me, the learning has been like great. The one thing I learned is like tech is not as scary as it seems from the outside. Once I jump in, initially I felt like I'm being like force fed with maybe like a water hose, a fire hose. But then the amazing support and the amazing people we have in the tech industry, be it faculty, be it colleagues, everybody is like, it was really amazing, and it made it, continue. And like, I have like a very high hopes. I will have like a good career here. So over to Mona.
Thanks.
You have 2 minutes left.
Okay, thank you. I think the biggest thing that I took away from Project 3 and from Evolve U is that sometimes in order to learn, you just need to jump in and start somewhere. Like, don't be afraid, just start anywhere, create things, break things, and make mistakes. That's truly where all of our learning comes from. And lastly, now over to Liliana.
Thank you, Mona. So in my case, I learned about the importance of asking questions. As Mona mentioned, we have to break it, we have to try, we have to fix it. But after you tried hard to solve a problem with not much success, the best option, in my opinion, is to look for help. No shame on it. That concludes our presentation. Thank you very much for being here with us.